that he was able to come on and made the time for us today, especially after his busy schedule with all the things that's going on with him guiding and leading people to the light. So with me today is my very special guest, none other than Mr. Michael Gabriel. Michael Gabriel, how are you doing today, sir?
It's a great day to be alive, Mr. Joseph. What a great day to let the guiding light shine upon everybody, everyone who tunes into this platform and everyone that hears the message that myself and my book of Gabriel conveys, because I am the answer. And what's in this book will surely show you how to shine your light to your best and highest potential. I do declare.
Well, I hope so. Well, first off, welcome to Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver. We've been following you and the guiding light for several months through your NWA and NWA JCP journey. Mr. Gabriel, my fans and myself have some questions to ask you. Are you ready for them?
Absolutely, please. I am an open book, unlike my book of Gabriel. That's only for my eyes only at the time being. But please, ask away, Joseph.
All right. What led you to the book of Gabriel?
What a long, winding road it truly has been. You know, I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always maybe, looking at me and seeing something was just missing. Something I put on this act, maybe like a mask or so. Maybe just walking down the road and walking through life just aimlessly, trying to please every single person. But just one day, I was awoken violently in my sleep, and something just overpowered me. Something spoke deeply into my telltale heart as it beat practically out of my chest and said, "It's time. It's time for you to be awakened. It's time for your light to shine as brightly and as powerfully as anybody can." And so that led to not just a whole setting of it, but a whole week-long journey where this came to fruition, where all the knowledge that the Almighty bestowed upon me. And along the road, I've picked up some weary travelers, some people that have been discounted. They've been persecuted. They've been looked down upon. And I'm building an empire, an army, a commune, maybe you would say. And maybe we may be small in numbers, but we're mighty at heart. And so I look forward to keeping the guiding light shining brightly as possible.
Well, you said that you're building a small commune. So the next question I have for you is, has the book you carried around, the Book of Gabriel, actually helped anybody?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Without a shadow of the doubt, I could pull out all sorts of testimonies, all sorts of positive affirmations that have come with this. Some people just aren't ready, because unfortunately, like most of the people that I encounter when I make my presence known, whether that be NWA JCP, whether that be SBCW, or even SOM, as far as Mississippi, as far as North Carolina, the people look down upon me. So those people, their voices just aren't ready to be heard yet. There is one person that has been a brave enough soul, a person that was so tired of being tormented, and some person that you've happened to spoke to already, who's accomplished so much. And yes, his family might be a little golden, but the guiding light is his family now. And that is my dear friend, Evan Golden, where we as the guiding light look to take not just the NWA, not just NWA JCP, but whatever territory, whatever ring, whatever platform, to the heights, to glory and beyond.
Glory and beyond, you say. So in Sunbright at the JCP events that you've mentioned JCP, we noticed that you try to use your book to your advantage, as somebody did earlier in that night, but it failed you. If it fails you, why would anybody want to put their faith in it?
Well, that was just a misfortunate mishap. Joseph, you watched the footage, correct?
Yes, I did.
You saw who had the book at the end of the day that ultimately caused the demise of our dearest and most important elder, Mr. Sal the Pal. Evan, he's on a journey. He's figuring it out. And sometimes the book speaks whenever I may not have a voice. I may even think, because I'm no perfect man. I'm just a vessel being used to guide people like yourselves and everybody that steps and looks at us with those cowardly eyes. Now, Joseph, you graced me with your platform. So you are not within that crowd. So you are blessed and highly favored.
Well,
But
thank you.
it doesn't always answer to the beckoning call. You see that it's not just mere words that are scribbled down in this book. This isn't self an enlightened being. That's why sometimes, even when it seems like Michael Gabriel's at his last breath and his last ditch effort is to use this book to, some people would say, an advantage, but I just say it's their own enlightenment. It's come in handy. So to answer your question, no, it didn't then. But Tyler Shute, he knows who the guiding light is now. And he may train harder or whatever he wants to say, but hey, the guiding light will eventually shine very brightly on him too.
Interesting. I love that you put that out there like that. So the guiding light is always shining bright, as you say. Do you find different areas of who you are when you are present and your message of the book of Gabriel to different people at different places?
Well, yeah, it just, some people I've been greeted with cheers, and it shocked me because other books have said, wise people have once says that prophet's not welcome in his own hometown. And sometimes the red carpet is laid out. So why, yes, most of these places are filled with iniquity and lust and gluttony and terrible hygiene and deodorant, and just smells like mothballs and disappointment. But some people have that enlightened sense. They have that progressive mindset that maybe not everybody possesses. So why, yes, I've been greeted with just cheers of reverence and respect. But also, in most places, unfortunately, people aren't as receptive to what I have to say. And
Well,
that's
that's
okay.
very true, Mr. Gabriel. So the JCP events that we've been to, the Harriman Heat event that we went to, the Sunbright event that you were a part of there, and also the Decatur event that you were a part of, everybody treated you all like you were garbage at both of those events, both of them. But I've also seen the flip side of that when you've been at the School of Morton and you've been other places, how they react to you. Some people cheer you. Some people get on that side of you. So I want to take a minute just to set aside the book of Gabriel for a minute. So enough about this mystic book for a minute. Can you tell me about your bookings? Where can we find you? And where can these people be so amazed by your charismatic personality and talent inside the ring?
Well, me and Mr. Joe Kazana have worked out a happy deal that benefits not only JCP, but the Guiding Light's purpose as well. So if you end up hitting up any type of NWA JCP sacred moment in time, you're probably going to see me and Evan Golden grace the squared circle and grace your television screens if you're watching from home. The School of Morton, it's just things brewing there where I'm not quite sure how long my tenure will be there. It seems to be that there's some stirring and rumblings in the air. Well, maybe I might need to take a sabbatical, or maybe just go back to the mountain where I've received so much refueling and reverence to. And there's also other promotions that I may exactly pop up to. SPCW, the home of the JPWA, where the good doctor has trained multiple and many stars that maybe you see at the brightest things, but you also see someone like myself. The good doctor knows what the Michael Gabriel can do. Well, Mike, he's seen all sorts of sides of Michael Gabriel. So SPCW, Pile Driver Pro, you never know. I've contacted the elders and officials of that organization, and quite frankly, they need somebody that might need to lead those people in Livingston and Johnson City and everywhere around this great and sometimes great state of Tennessee on that path to enlightenment. So always just keep track of me. I post regularly on my social medias. I post regularly on TikTok as well, because in order to reach them, you got to use what they're on. If you know what I mean. I mean, you're like you're on this platform now to get your message and your platform across, and you've allowed me to grace it this one time as well.
Well, you're more than welcome to be here anytime that you want to, Mr. Gabriel. Anytime that you have anything to say or anytime that you have anything to do, you guys are more than welcome. You and Evan Golden both, the Golden Child himself. I know that he had a rough outing at SPCW this past weekend, but you guys are more than welcome to come and speak anytime.
Well, that is yes. I think we need to put that on the books for sometime soon, because me and Evan both, we sometimes, Evan and myself, we're on a journey. My plane might be a little higher, but Evan, he's a seed and he's growing every single day. But sometimes he kind of has to do some side quests and try out some other things, because at the end of the day, Evan Golden loves him some gold. So anytime he gets that opportunity, I say, go take it. Go make the guiding light even more famous in this world.
Anytime you have the opportunity to shine bright for somebody, you're going to do it. You're going to rise to the occasion. There's only two ways to go. You either rise to the occasion or you falter out and filter out. And he's really risen to the occasion. And so have you. You've really risen to the occasion each and every time that we've seen you, each and every time you've been out there. And you've not afraid. That's the big thing, is a lot of people hate you. They hate you because of the message that you speak, but you're not afraid to do it inside the ring with anybody at any given time, anywhere, any place, anytime.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's 100%. That's why would my message be so powerful if I just cowered away? Now, sometimes there are times where you have to be calculated. You have to use this brain that was downloaded to you sometimes. And sometimes that means, maybe making your exit a little sooner than later. But at the end of the day, the guiding light always shines brightest.
Yes, it does. Where, what time zone, and how much is it going to cost for your next event to get into, Mr. Gabriel?
Well, it'll be on the eastern coast of the United States, and it will be $10 a pop. The next thing you can see me at is looking forward to the SOM Rock and Roll Tag Team Invitational at the where the sacred moment in time will take place is still up in smoke in the air. But if it was my best guess, it would be at the Chucky Dome. What better place than to house the Ricky Morton himself built? Ricky Morton's a legend, and I look forward. In our first round matchup, me and Evan Golden. Now, the Gen 3 Express. I don't know if that's on the docket for today. I know I don't want to derail your plans. I know you're a timely man, and you've got a lot of different things that a lot of the people want to hear what Michael Gabriel has to say. But short story is that me, Casey Kazana, and Evan Golden first encountered each other there, where people look at us and they wonder, they're like, why? Why would someone who brings this message of just powerful enlightenment, where then you've got Casey Kazana, one of the youngest new stars of the NWA, and you've got Evan Golden and his dad and his uncles and his cousins, all gone before him, have made a mark in the wrestling scene in Tennessee. Well, great minds end up thinking alike. We saw what we needed to accomplish, and sometimes opposites just attract. And so, but unfortunately, KC was allured. He was distraught after we lost those SOM tag team champions, the East Tennessee tag champions, to those dumb idiot clown and truck, and God be with them. I just wish them just so much, not high cholesterol, but Casey had to make a call. He went behind our back. He really showed what his true loyalty was. And I know, because I have a family, and family's really important. And his brother AJ, what a brute. He's also a rising star in the NWA. Why wouldn't you seize that opportunity? But the reality is that KC learned that stuff from somebody like me, because behind the scenes, he was under my tutelage. He may have came out there blazing his horns and all this and that and yada yada, but in reality, my teachings is what shaped him. My teachings is exactly why Joe Kazana trusted me to help guide him and help him along in the Gen 3 Express, just like Eddie Golden with Evan. But you see, Evan and his family are on some shaky ground. That's where I come in, because we're family now. But we must put all our stuff aside. The one goal is the SOM Tag Team Invitational Tournament. Because at the end of the day, the guiding light must shine brighter. And it might be a hell of a fight. Oh, wow. Everything will be glorified that day. So AJ and KC, we'll see you again. And this time, we'll be locked and loaded.
May the light shine upon them bright. That's how we're going to deal with that. Our last question for you tonight actually came from our fans. Our final question to you tonight was voted upon by the fans. They want to know what the strange relationship to Sal the Pal, aka Salvation, is to you, and is Father James Mitchell a source of inspiration? And finally, does that book actually have any pages in it?
So many great questions. Your audience is very much... I didn't come in with a lot of hope, because I wondered. I know how people are, where they like to type and they like to ask their silly questions. But Joseph, out of all the podcasts I've done, this is definitely one of them that has people ready to just open up the book. But first, with old Sal the Pal, our encounter was, some people believe in chances and coincidence, but no, it was destined to be. After one of our tough losses, after maybe it was a day where I was just like, maybe I can't carry the burden of the guiding light, out of nowhere, Sal pops out. Doesn't say a word, and he just looks at me with that look of reverence and just pure solitude and just love in his eyes, and says, "Follow me." And I said, I like this guy. So we then proceeded that when the time was right, and that time came at Sunbright, to make our allegiance known. Who knows what the sky could produce? Billy Corgan, we see what you're doing, and we'd love to let the guiding light shine. And I know for a fact that you know that Michael Gabriel is the real deal. And Father James Mitchell, man, what a legend. He's been around the squared circle, and he's been in all sorts of things, making deals shady behind people's backs, managing the legendary up-and-coming Max the Impaler. and all sorts of characters in his time in the business. And you know what? I'm a fan of Father James Mitchell's work. I really am. I've seen what he represents. And you know what? We may have some ideological differences, but at the end of the day, the main goal is to be at the top.
Right.
And whatever that takes. Father James Mitchell is quite the master of that as well. And lastly, my book of Gabriel. Okay, I take that back. Why would this book not be filled with anything? Look at this. Plenty of pages. Smack dab. The heart and soul being used in this vessel of Michael Gabriel, deposited through the Almighty. Why, yes, this book is something that changes people's life, that revolutionizes, that opens up all their closed minds. Just like every single fan that sits in the seats. And when we make our grand entrance, when we just reach out our hand and say, let the guiding light shine, people just have that visceral reaction. You've seen it for yourself. You admit it, Joseph. You have. So one day, the book will truly be open. And that day, everything that's been foretold, everything that's been promised will be revealed. And you'll know when you know. Just know and ask yourself, are you ready?
One of our viewers, Miss Cassara Croft, has made a statement here in the chat box. She says, maybe you should make smaller copies of your book, and while you're walking out on all your shows, hand them out to the people so they can have a piece of it too.
Yes, that is a wonderful contribution. And I have actually had that in mind. Because I do feel like I need to just give a sliver, just a taste. Because the rest have to be paid with the dues. With your dues, sometimes that's physical, sometimes it's monetarily, sometimes that's something that's only be meant for with the soul. But right, you got to give people a little taste. I remember things like that in the good book back in my olden times, back when I was just young and impressionable. So thank you, ma'am, for suggesting something like that. And maybe you might just happen to get the first installation of just a sliver of the Book of Gabriel.
You heard it here first, guys. Thank you, Mr. Michael Gabriel, for your time today. I appreciate you coming on the show and being here. Before you go, if anybody wanted to book you, where could they book you at? Where are you accepting your emails and your calls?
Awesome. Well, I have bookmichaelgabriel@gmail.com. And also, if you find me on Facebook, you can find me as Michael Gabriel. I'm a very, very easy man, and I respond to any and all messages, unless there's some psychopath wanting to take a bite out of my forbidden fruit or my undergarments or something like that, because they're out there. Trust me, Joseph. You'll encounter somebody one of these days, but Instagram, Facebook, just shoot me a message or email at bookmichaelgabriel@gmail.com, and I will happily grace your show.
We have got your Facebook up directly right here on the screen for everybody to see that, so they know where they can find you on Facebook. It does have your booking listing right under it, and where you were trained by Dr. Tom himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Dr. Tom. So they can get you right there. And once again, thank you so much, Mr. Michael Gabriel. And I appreciate you being here. And we would love to have you back sometime in the distant future.
You know where to reach me, and you know how to call. So, Joseph, may the guiding light shine upon you today, because the world is ours. You just got to open up your eyes and your heart and your mind. And one day, it will shine so brightly. Because just remember, I leave you with this, is that I am the therapist, I am the therapy too.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.